Why art and freedom clash? A deep dive into how artists navigate public scrutiny through psychology, culture, entertainment, sociology, and history. Art is supposed to be free. That's the whole point, right? A blank canvas where ideas take shape. A melody unrestricted by rules. A story that dares to say what others won't. And yet, every artist, whether a painter, musician, filmmaker, or writer, has faced the same invisible wall: public scrutiny. Create something too safe, and it's called uninspired. Push too far, and it's called controversial. Step outside the line, and suddenly your freedom becomes a debate. So why does this happen? Why does art, something meant to challenge, question, and liberate, always seem to collide with restriction, expectation, and backlash? Let's break it down. Art is deeply personal. It comes from the rawest corners of the human mind. But here's the catch: it's also public. The moment an artist shares their work, it no longer belongs to them alone. It enters a world of interpretation, criticism, approval, and rejection. And our brains, they crave approval. Psychologists call this social validation theory, the idea that we are wired to seek acceptance from the collective. Artists, whether they admit it or not, are no exception. They want their work to be understood, they want their message to resonate, but they also want the freedom to say what they need to say without fear. And here's where things get tricky. The world doesn't always want to hear the truth, and when art holds up a mirror, society doesn't always like what it sees, which brings us to the next question. Artists have always been disruptors. They create art not just to entertain, but to question, expose, and challenge. But culture thrives on structure, tradition, norms, unwritten rules. So when an artist dares to disrupt, the reaction is often resistance. Think about it. When Bob Dylan went electric, folk purists saw it as betrayal. When Jean-Michel Basquiat fused graffiti with fine art, critics dismissed him before celebrating him. When women authors first wrote under their own names, they were seen as too bold, too emotional, too radical. The same cycle repeats: first, rejection, then debate, then acceptance, long after the fact. Because history has shown us, art that offends today often defines tomorrow. Nowhere is the clash between art and freedom more obvious than in entertainment. The music industry, the film industry, these are massive machines that thrive on predictability. Artists, they thrive on experimentation. So when an artist steps out of line, whether politically, socially, or stylistically, there are consequences. A film gets banned, a musician gets blacklisted, a book gets pulled from shelves, all because freedom is good until it makes people uncomfortable. And in entertainment, where profit rules all, the system loves artists until they challenge the hand that feeds them. It's why films are censored, songs are watered down, ideas are adjusted to fit mainstream expectations, because in the entertainment world, an artist's freedom isn't just theirs, it belongs to the audience, the critics, the labels, the studios. And that makes true artistic freedom a rare, dangerous thing. Art is powerful, it moves people, and anything that moves people can change society. This is why, throughout history, art has been censored, controlled, even feared. Books have been burned, music has been banned, artists have been imprisoned. Why? Because free expression disrupts the status quo. A song can start a revolution. A painting can make people question authority. A film can expose injustice in ways words never could. So society tries to contain art, to make it safe, to make it fit. Because real art, it's unpredictable, and unpredictable things, they scare people. So, where does that leave the artist? Caught in the eternal dilemma: do you create freely, knowing you might be silenced? Or do you conform, knowing you might lose yourself in the process? Every artist faces this crossroad. Some choose rebellion, creating no matter the cost. Some choose compromise, adjusting their art to fit. Some choose silence because sometimes the weight of expectation is too much. But in the end, the artists who change the world are the ones who dare to say what must be said, whether the world is ready or not. Art and freedom will always clash, because true freedom means saying things that others might not be ready to hear. But history has shown us, censorship doesn't kill art, public scrutiny doesn't silence truth. The need to create is stronger than the fear of rejection. So to every artist watching this, create anyway, because real art is never truly free, but it's always worth the fight. What's an artwork, song or film that challenged the way you see the world? Drop it in the comments. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the art, culture and the human experience. Because understanding art means understanding why it scares people first.